Hey, it's Diego with Aim Shoot Develop, and today I am back talking about a very fun camera I think is worth checking out. This is the Ricoh FF9SD Limited. It's a transparent 35mm film camera that's really cool, and I'm going to show you some photo examples, talk about the features, and yeah, let's get into it. This camera did come with a regular release with just black plastic like most film cameras do. So if you know me, you know I absolutely love transparent cameras. I featured multiple of them on my channel. Some that you've probably never seen before, so after you're done with this video, go check that one out. Oh, here's one to keep close. This is my transparent Polaroid. Obviously it doesn't take pictures, but it will spit out a photo and show you. Let me see if I can do this. You can see the little gears. And so yeah, really cool. I don't know if you can see it, but I also have a transparent TV, and I think that's really interesting. That was for prisoners. I usually get the joke, like, how'd you get a prison TV? You know, you just buy it. People take them home sometimes. But I have a prison TV that shoots black and white, and so anytime I see any transparent tech, I have to pick it up, hence the camera. Let's start with the basics. What battery does it take? Let me see. I keep this ring because the points are perfect for the film rewind and taking the batteries out, which is really funny. It takes a CRP2 battery, which is really common in kind of later release film cameras or some SLRs as well. It's not one that you can just pick up at pretty much any random store. You might have to special order this, so keep this in mind if you ever want to pick one of these up. So this camera does feature a 35mm f3.5 lens. I think the 3.5 is just perfect for a point and shoot, as you'll see later in the photo examples. There's two buttons on the top of the camera. There's the self-timer button that if you push down, you'll see a little red indicator and it'll take a picture. And the shutter button on top. If you buy a camera, please read the manuals. I was like, why do they have all this indicator if there's literally no features? So I busted out the manual and saw, oh, there's a mode button. And I'm like, literally where? It's right here on the side next to the little wrist strap. If this was the retail version or the regular version, I would have seen this a little bit more clearly considering the button's gray and it would have contrasted black. I completely overlooked this. There are some features on this camera that are really cool. There's obviously a landscape mode. There's a TV mode which locks in the shutter speed and the camera, so you can take a picture of a screen, which is like the most 90s thing you could possibly do with a film camera. You think about people doing like speed runs or recording high scores, and that's a really cool way to actually do that. It's really nice that it's an integrated feature. There is a continuous auto button that if you hold down, it'll take a few pictures. Obviously it'll search for the autofocus before taking a picture, so you want to do that in a bright situation. I personally don't like to do that with point and shoot cameras. I like to do it with the nicer SLR, but the feature is on there if you want to give it a go. And lastly, one of my favorite features is the multiple exposure button. What you do is toggle on multiple exposure, take one picture, sorry for the flash, take another picture, then hit the mode button again, and it'll advance the frame. It won't do it until you get out of the mode. And let me tell you, that is an absolutely awesome feature to have in a point and shoot film camera that you can just carry around. It can only be found in some Olympus cameras that have that mode, which are usually big and bulky, or some SLR film cameras that, again, big and bulky. So it's nice to have it in a point and shoot you can put in your bag. Okay, since this camera is considered fully automatic, here's some of the things that's really interesting with the flash. So the flash will engage and pop up if there's light needed, hence like it did now. And on most film cameras, you hold down a no flash button and take a picture. On this film camera, you have to hold down the flash to do a no flash. I think that's really interesting, but I actually don't even like that. I hate that you have to push down on a mechanical aspect of the camera to stop it from flashing. Because if you have it and it needs flash, it'll want to kick up, so you have to actually hold it down. I'm not a big fan of that feature. Last thing that I thought was really interesting is that the bottom is transparent. And I thought every time you took a picture you would see these little gears like the other film cameras that I have. This feature is just for the rewind. So this is the gears. All these gears here are just to rewind the film back into the canister. So it's kind of like a little treat at the end of the roll. You get to see this. It's like a little show until you're done with the roll. Okay, so here are some photo examples. I'm not gonna lie, I'm genuinely blown away by some of these images. The focus is really sharp. Even in situations when there's not much light, the flash and autofocus do a really good job of showing up and pretty much doing it great. The multiple exposure mode is something that I need to get better at with my composition, and obviously learn in the viewfinder like what I'm doing. The camera does a really good job of leveraging the two to get a proper exposure, and I credit a lot of that to the camera. I think overall I kind of bought this camera as a novelty. It's something cool to have. I really like having fun cameras when taking pictures of people. It's a genuine curiosity when people see it. It's a conversation starter. I just, I'm out and about, I put it on the table and people say, oh, what is that? It's really nice to, engage with people on my favorite hobby. The multiple exposure mode completely blew me out of the water. I love that. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight some of the cool things on this camera, talk about it a little bit, show some photo examples. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. I have tons of videos talking about a bunch of different cameras, like my clear Polaroid or some stuff I'm sure you've probably never seen unless you're already subscribed. That's pretty much it. Keep shooting film. Take care. Peace.